Rest up now. You're going to need it for where we're going. The importance of today's discussion and lesson, this is going to set you up for years. And there's a very important thing that's happening right now that I'm going to teach you what it is. And if you're able to pay attention to this message today, your life's going to change for the future. And it's imperative that we rest now. All right. We don't want to stumble out of the starting gate, if you will. But there's a lot that's happening. And there were years that you went through for preparation, the preparation to accept. You were prepared to accept your new role in the world. There are people that are tuned in to this podcast, and you knew that there was something wrong with this world, and this world needed new leadership. And this is what the whole transition of power has been in the past few years. It's not something that's fancy, that's on the TV, but it's something that's been happening on the inside. Something that's been happening in the internal. Something that's been happening to your nervous system, your subconscious. And so there is one main attribute that is happening. And from this attribute, so this is not like, like sometimes in life we think, it's the go get 'em, it's the important things. But what I'm going to discuss today, and you're going to see this, and you're going to reflect on it in your life, the future is always going to come back to what I'm discussing today. Like, for example, I have discussed the window of time prior to when you go to sleep at night. And I asked the question, where do you dwell? And when you say, where do you dwell, it's not your physical, like, do you live in a house, an apartment, so on and so. No. It's where do you dwell in that space in the brain, in your mind, when your head hits the pillow at night, when it gets really quiet. Okay. So, a lot of this lesson is the power in waiting, patience. Something goes in my eye. Intuition has to be sharpened. And that was really, if you reflect on the previous year, that year and that season is over. And the objective, as I shared, God wanted to refine your intuition. And we needed to refine our intuition in this modern world. The beautiful video I did was why you must open your third eye. You might have went on YouTube years ago and you started learning about these things, and it was like, it's cool, bro. Let's have a spiritual experience. Open your third eye. You will be lost. You will be lost if you don't have an open third eye right now. In the age of AI and quite frankly, there's many people that just lie about everything. It's actually one of my main talking points in my #1 video. And so many people resonated with that. The people that are on this, you say, yeah, you know what? People don't care anymore. There's no integrity. They just lie about anything. All right. So you got to really focus on your intuition. Jeffrey Taylor, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for being such a supportive mentor, Mike. It's my honor. I love you, Jeffrey. Very grateful for the support. Grateful for everyone coming on live. Grateful if you could click the like button to push this forward. We are live. Let's do it live. And one of the things, so this aspect of resting, when I reflect on my life as we're segueing, okay, it actually, it's a little bit easier for me to kind of sit comfortably, even though we're going very long live. Sometimes when I go out onto the beach and do a 17-minute video, it takes a lot of energy for me to do that. And right now we have to rest. And I felt that yesterday. Oh, the creative juices are flowing like never before, right? Get the orange hearts going. And there's a power in waiting. There's a power in patience. And there is something that's happening right now. See, it's already done. The shift has already been established. And this is in the nervous system reset. And your subconscious has brand new instructions. And I want you to, I mean, you could put the little sleepy emoji. Do you feel like you do need to rest? And to be honest, I was a blazing ball of energy, and then I went to being very tired, and I had an idea, and I wanted to speak on it last night, and the this is how I listen to myself. I know when to pull back, and the answer was to wait, and there's a power in waiting. Okay. Chat is in agreement right now. If you feel like you need, and this resting period is important, and this is actually where the power is. So if you're here and this is the lesson, and this might be the lesson that says, you know what, I'm going to listen to these talks daily, 9 a.m. Eastern, click subscribe. What is happening right now is the foundation or the standard for your life for years to come. So the actual thing, it's not the highs, it's not the most energetic, moments. No. What is actually most powerful and what's happening right now, that's why we have to rest and we're exhausted, is establishing your baseline. What is happening right now? We are establishing the baseline. You can see the beautiful bees are back. You see them? Get the honeybees going in the chat. So when you establish the baseline, that's actually the most important. It's like in my work and whatever it is that you do, it's not that one in a while thing that you got to really like focus on. You have to have like super energy. It's the 80% of the time. This is actually like really anchoring in, like say, like this discussion that we're having today. This can be the standard where it's a comfortable. What is your baseline? You're always going to come back to this baseline in your job, in the workplace, in your relationship. What is the base, like in a relationship? Like, do you have a beautiful time with your girl just going food shopping, right? And people have to wake up to this. So it's not the you go to a fancy party or you go to no, it's like the baseline. And wherever the baseline is, because you're always going to get to that baseline. We're always going to have the spikes. This is how our life goes. But like previously, our life was going down here. But now it's going up here. So we're still going to have our peaks and valleys, our ups and downs. But our baseline, ready? Our baseline, we have established a new baseline. And that's actually what is most important. Because the truth, you see all the bees are coming. The truth is consistency, and I've been sharing this for years. All right, and you will see this. It's different when it's just a one-time thing. Like say, let's talk to our divine feminine for a second. Like the guy, like he'll show up for one day, give you all like, dump all the money, do all this stuff for one day, and he ain't there. It's the baseline, it's the baseline, it's the consistency. Right. Like I taught our men about the modern woman, the female covert narcissist. How you doing? And like maybe there's a holiday. Oh my God. And the baking comes out and the cameras come out for Instagram. Let's show the world. Look at how great of a girlfriend I am or a wife. But the 90% of the time, that's not how it is. So the baseline, right? Hit the like button if this is resonating. Say, wow, I'm learning something new today. Okay. The chat is blowing up right now. So in life, it's about the baseline. It's not about the highest highs, right? Because people can it could be luck or pretend, but you cannot pretend a baseline. You cannot pretend a baseline. And these are the things that I've been teaching for years. Okay? So now we're establishing a baseline. We're going inside, we're resting, because there's power in waiting and patience. And it's a fine tuning of our intuition, because we left we went from 1C to the triple C. 1C to the triple C. What do you mean, Uncle Mike? So we actually left a time period of absolute chaos, and now we go to crystal clear clarity, the triple C. So that 1C, the singular C, the chaos, no. Now we're headed towards crystal clear clarity. So we want to establish the baseline, and we want to move when God directs us to move. Let me say it again. We move when God directs us to move. And you will know. You will know, and if the change happened energetically in the subconscious, the nervous system has been reset, creation is already done, write it down, and this is how we're going to teach learning moving forward in the quantum, right? So now we do it with energy, not with physical effort, not with physical effort, okay? James, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for the support. We are establishing a higher baseline for the collective. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, James. And thank you for the super chat. I'm very grateful. You're becoming the change you want to see in the world. The concept of reaching critical mass. And, really what I've been talking about. There's so many people, so many content creators, so many people. Not forget about we all see what's going on mainstream. Do you see it on TV? I saw it on TV. It's got to be real. It's on TV. You got to stay away from the fear. And I re-shared it in a post. I hope everyone studies that video. Really study it, The War for Your Soul. And I talked about it, and I went back in time. Dun, dun, dun. We went back in time, back to 2012, when it energetically shifted. But there was a lot of fear pumped on mainstream media about 2012 and the movies and the shows and the end of the world and gloom and doom. Ooh! Right? So that's why you really want to click subscribe, stay focused on this channel, because I'm going to dive deep into the happenings of the world. Okay? So when you are not, because you will be, dragged onto that lower timeline, and we realize it now in the quiet. I realize it now in the baseline. When I look at my baseline frequency and the gratitude that you have, and you're going to feel it in your tum-tum. You're going to feel it in your tum-tum. You're not as you're just sitting there, and last year you might have been sitting there and your stomach's going like this and it's shaking, and because the nervous system, all right, if you're new, you go to my videos on the nervous system reset, and all the nerves that are in your stomach, in your solar plexus, shaking away. Why did we sustain such damage in our solar plexus, Uncle Mike? Well, Bill, if you look at the world and the craziness, anxiety is fear of the future, right? And a lot of people's futures, right? It looked bleak. You saw a lot of fear on the TV. And a lot of confusion and chaos. But once you're sitting in crystal clear clarity, baseline, establish the baseline, peaceful. When the nervous system is at peace, at a peaceful baseline, then you are now able to attract. You can attract. I'm telling you, I lived through this. We all lived through this. There might be some people that, were like very, easy to go through in a post 2020 world. But this was the great shift that we're all, hey, what's up? You see them? They come to say hello to me. Intention in the baseline is so important. Focus on what you like. Don't focus on fear. Don't focus on what you don't like. Listen carefully. I hope the whole world hears this, because I'm sitting out here giving you the answer. Oh, you're creating through consciousness. Oh, so when you're thinking about all the devastation, all the stuff, you might be, seeing, they say how the nervous system reacts when you watch virtual reality. Do you know about this stuff? It reacts the same way, like you're actually doing it, but you're not. You're just sitting on the couch. So now we realize we want to focus on what we like. We got to focus on peace for our families and our children and for ourselves, because our nervous system has to be calm. And because if we're focusing on the negative in the world, and again, there is negative in the world, right? But as we're shifting right now, this is, again, you have to establish the baseline. And then when you establish the baseline, what do I like? What do I want to experience? Oh, these loving people. I don't want to focus on the negativity. I don't want to focus on the drama. I've been sharing this for a long time. The people that fail during this time, you're obsessed with drama. At any time, this is a channel to improve your everyday life. These are the things we have to work on, okay? Just like if you ask me, how do I, shape this muscle? You get a trainer. So I'm your consciousness coach. How you doing? How you doing? Okay. So if you're going to stop right now and you say, am I addicted to drama? Or am I concerned? Am I concerned with what I'm becoming? That's why I said in the other day, day one, I'm going to refer everyone to that podcast. That's the one that is going to set you up for the future. It will pop up here. Anyone that hasn't watched it, if you say, I seriously want to take this journey, you're going to watch that, listen to that in its entirety. It's day one. That's why I set it up this way. Day one. Everyone that's coming right now, just focus on that video. Day one. Day one. So important. So now we're resting. We're establishing the baseline. As we're receiving the new instructions, there's a massive reset. Okay, like, we could see things, not like there's a big spinning wheel and a blank screen for you, but when your nervous system has rebooted, when your subconscious has rebooted, we're actually a living being. So we have these feelings, and you have exhaustion. Okay. Even Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. So in the Western society, they're only concerned with the physical things, right? And that's why, we're going to learn about that. We're not going to age anymore here. We're going to be healthy, right? They're only concerned, as he said, with the genes, the physical, but what about the energies? What about the signals? What about the spirit? Okay, so in your nervous system and the energies. So we can't physically see these things. But so now, if you're really feeling this right now, you say, I'm feeling kind of tired right now. Think I need to take a little nappy poo. You ever wake up from a nap in the middle of the day and the whole body is numb? Okay, so this is what we're going through right now. Leave comments down below, because we're a community, and there's so many people that are waking up and saying, this is happening, and this is your one stop shop for your consciousness expansion here. So this is happening. It's quantum chaos. Listen and understand this. Your life is not built in order. I will raise my hand right now. Okay, I keep it at 100. And that's why people resonate with this, because I actually did these things. I could present it to millions of people. I already did it. I will say I complained as I go along. Okay. So, but now I could present the information as truthful as I did it, as you're going to do it, because this is the answer. And I thought a different way years ago. Your life is not built in order. Your life is not built in a straight line. So what it actually is, like sometimes we say, I put one brick and the next bricks, and no, it's like a puzzle all over the floor. I say, oh my God, look at all the puzzle pieces all over the floor. Or maybe you have to put something together, like you got one of these things for furniture. You got all these nuts and bolts, and all this is scattered all. Oh my God, how am I going to put this together? And somehow God puts it together. See, from our lens in life, we think it's one day after the next, or one moment, one event. Watch my video, quantum event. No, it's quantum, and that's why it's chaos. But in the future, so we'd all put it together, and maybe what we thought was, I don't know, step 4 comes in as the first event. What we thought was step 2 comes in later as the 7th event. Okay, so this is how I could share with all of you. So right now, as all these things, now you had experiences. Now we shifted. We have the new season. So we rest. We establish the baseline. We really focus on our intuition, which was, that was a real test to go through the chaos that we did. All right. And I could share this from firsthand experience. The most important moments in life make the least sense. Certain things are like a little decision. We say, oh, it's no big deal. It's like the biggest thing in your life. Or maybe, it looks like a very scary, spookable thing, and because it happened, it was able to put you on a brand new timeline, entering a brand new season of your life, and this is the way. And when I went through it, and it is quite scary. We had an accelerated ascension in a post-2020 world, and sometimes we're not ready. But God takes us and kicks us right out of the nest and says, it's time to fly. And I says, okay, I got to get these angel wings going. Here we go. Then it's really been the story of my life, and I'm here to tell you, it's always energy. It's what you hold in your heart. If you know something is for you, we're never ready. We're never ready to start. So, for example, I was referred to my first video. I had it here, and I didn't go and film it that, it might have been, I said, like, I knew it was ready. I knew what I wanted to do. It might have, took me, a week or two to muster up, okay, I'm going to actually do it. And then I did it. So that's kind of a representation. Once you got the energy, you have it. You have it in the Sacred Heart. You're gonna bring it into this reality. But during that little marination, let's let it marinate. It's a delicious marination. Then it's going to be set, because there's always things that run in the background. Just because we don't see it. And if you're on this channel and you're doing this work, you want to change your life this year, you have to know that the subconscious is running your life 95% of the time. It's more important to change and reestablish a subconscious, a new baseline, than to physically do stuff. How you doing? We got to relax. We're already here. And, in this new energy, when we're just attracting into our life instead of physically go, go, go and do. And there are seeds that we've already planted. And you're going to see some of the things that you said, I saw no growth. I said, this wasn't, no, something was brewing in the background. That's the representation of the subconscious. During this process as well, you are sitting with it. And there are things that you say, okay, this was the way that I lived in the past, and I don't want to anymore. Or this was important to, or maybe you have hobbies or things, and it's like, I don't want to do it no more. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. So this is really a time period to hear your intuition, to hear and be honest. In life, sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves. And, in the previous year, God showed you the truth. And we don't just run out and boom, do it. We establish the baseline, right? All the things that I did, people have been watching me for many years, and they watched thoroughly last year. And you could see how I went on side quests and I started to establish things different, because God set me out. Said, you're gonna focus on this, and this. Okay, you go to my channel page, you could see I assorted things in beautiful playlists. You check them out, you figure out what you're interested in, and now I can sort and I could say these things. Oh yeah, they're so important. These things are real, and then I could look at something and say, maybe this isn't. Maybe this isn't. So because you got to analyze, you got to focus. And the more that you shift your frequency, okay? Diana writes, I pray for peace of mind today. Beautiful. Yeah, peace of mind. Beautiful, Diana. Peace of mind is so important. And, you could see a lot of people aren't at peace in their mind. I see a lot of posts. We have a tremendous Facebook community. Hit me up on Facebook. And like I see a post, for example, and someone will post, look at these girls from back in the 90s, and look at these girls today, and what do you see the difference? And the people will look, and he said, I could see it in the eyes. I could see in the eyes in the 90s, peaceful, right? In the old pictures, and then you could see the absolute chaos in the eyes. Okay, click the like button. It's time for peace. It's time for the divine feminine to have their nervous system calm. It's time for the divine masculine to have support so he could build and create. And know, the hermetic principle of gender, you have to embrace, we all have these energies within us. In science, it's called hemisync, and balancing the left and right side of the brain. So when we start to realize the balance that we need, the shadows, the light, and the dark, you can't lose yourself. Balancing the spirit and the ego, like people live in the ego, but the ego is actually there supposed to protect you in this life where you're not a doormat. You got to say, okay, I love, wait a second. I'm not top. This is my boundary. That's what it's for. Do you understand? That's my boundary. Not the gluttony and all this other stuff that's out there. All right. So here on this channel, we are conscious creators, and we're living our life in balance, and we're constantly growing and expanding and taking ownership of our ascension in our life, regardless of what you do. There's many different people from different backgrounds and different, what they do in life, and everyone's going to ascend. You saw it, right? I love to be outside in nature. We are spreading our wings and fly. I love when God gives me synchronicities. We're literally out here with the birds and the bees today. So, and this is the baseline. and just being calm. If you could generate a lot at a calm baseline, it's so powerful because, and I see this now, when you can't, life is not about, constantly go, draining the adrenals. I lived through this as well, years ago, you had to report to the matrix job and your adrenal glands get destroyed. Okay, watch my video on it. Peter Weaver, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very grateful. I love you, Peter. Isn't it right? Isn't it wild, Michael? I love everyone. I appreciate you. So there is a true power, and it's important for me to do this video today as well, because we're all wired differently. I joke around with my buddy Jim, and in the gym, and some men need motivation to get up off the couch, stop eating nachos and cheese, and actually go to the gym. And then there's people like me and Jim that need like we actually should rest. Resting is so important. And I think I'm going to maybe establish that on Fridays. Now, I've been learning more about the meanings of the days of the week, and a buddy of mine was telling me about it. And, I think that, so this is, maybe we'll have like casual Fridays here. And that's really where that comes from, I guess, casual Fridays. Self-care cannot have a label right now. Self-care is required. Self-care is part of everyday life. That recharge. It's not a, like you don't have to apologize for self-care. You have to put your frequency, your ascension, your vibrational frequency first. Cliff, thank you so much for the super chat. Cheers to you, brother. I'm very grateful. I love you, Cliff. Humble Bee, yes, I went through that as well. And that's why, like, there was a time period when I went through the absolute chaos in 23. And then when I knew, like, I knew I made it across the finish line. I just like collapsed on the floor, and then I had to restructure my physical body, because we are taking on physical damage from the anxieties, the traumas. And so Humble Bee, that is actually a thing. Lisa Patterson, thank you so much for the super chat. I love you. I'm so grateful. Nature heals the soul. Yeah, I can't stress to people enough right now. Grounding in nature it's the way. I'll be doing it later. Hit the bare feet on the ground so we could soar. Here we go. God's just putting on a show today. Click the like button, push it forward, click subscribe. Let's grow the channel. 1 million people. Okay, Peter Weaver. Thank you so much for the super chat, Peter. And focus, really focus on what you are, because it's always the positive feedback loop. What you put out comes back. What you put out comes back. And if it's held up, you get it back with interest. Okay? So sometimes it has to be because that's that pressurized, that diamond. That diamond that's been forming. And now, finally, it's revealed. Look how beautiful and shiny it is. The things that you don't see. And there are representations, like in the physical structures of life, or like it's not just in our imagination, but like we're seeing things in life that I like to refer to some of them as personal Mandela effects, or people shifting on and off your timeline. Got a full video on channel page. So in the darkness where you can't see, which is the representation, all right, of your subconscious, all of a sudden, it pops up because something was happening. That's why you need, in quantum physics, you need an observer. And upon you observe something, and that's how your life can totally change and shift upon the observation. And now you have collapsed. Quantum collapse, right? Or the timeline collapse is not like people think like collapse, like it's always got to be. It's just how we're wired, the devastation, right? All that stuff you see out there on mainstream media. No, the collapse is collapsing into a definite reality, because there are things in your life upon you because you're like trying to see it, but once you see it, then it collapses into that reality. Peter, thank you again. I'm very grateful. Okay? Love you. Yeah, you have to have your feeling safe, especially for our divine feminine. Divine masculine, got to have support. And when you know the functions, when you know the hermetic principle of gender and the energies, all right, you got to know thyself. I recently reshared that video. People will live their, people have lived their entire life. They don't know who they are. They're just running off the programs of society. That's why my NPC video is exploding right now. People are resonating with it. Okay, take the quiz as well. Ask yourself those questions. This is where we have to reflect in life. I've done this as well. And when you're conscious and aware, you're doing the inner work, you say, you know what? Yeah, wait a second. I'm not living out of guilt and shame and obligation. I'm living from my heart space. I'm living for love, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Midge, 1111, thank you so much for the super chat. Brother, think about you showing up every single day for the last 7 years. That is just amazing to me. I never take it for granted. Love you, brother. I love you, Midge. It's my honor to do this. This is what God has set me out to do. I'm grateful for that, Midge. And as I tell people, when you're driven to do something, like it's just like a force, and it just can't be stopped. And that's where it's very powerful. Like, and if anything in life, all these things, right? Like you're living your home, in the home is like a big thing right now. You have to feel the safe, right? You got to go home. In science, it's called a suitable place to live for all organisms, right? So that's got to be calm. And then like those things that are driven, like your vocation. I got a beautiful comment. Divine Feminine really appreciated my discussion. Not a job, but a vocation. You're driven. I'm driven. I dream about the work I'm going to do the next day. I can't wait. It's not work. It's a vocation. Driven. And then if you're a man, if you choose, because the divine masculine chooses, watch my video, be the chooser. That girl that you chose, that's it. Wow, I'm so motivated. I'm motivated. If you picked someone, it's like, oh, I'm so drained. I'm so boring. It's finished. It's finished. Okay, click the like button if that resonates with you. So during this time period, we're resting. This is where all of these baseline, these things are baseline. When you go to the bedroom at night and you sleep at night, that's baseline. What is the thing that you are gonna, you could do the work? What is the baseline at your work? What you can produce in your work, the baseline. Who is the girl that you got with you that you just sit on the couch peacefully? Go to the supermarket, the baseline, not the showboating on Instagram and all this other stuff, right? Nah, this is a channel for conscious people, both men and women, right? Hit that subscribe button today. Push this video forward today. This is powerful stuff. At first glance, in the Western society of the go, and again, we have to be motivated. That's where people get lost in the sauce in spirituality. All right? It's actually about the baseline. It's the random Tuesday. In life, there's people in my life over the years, literally could sit next to the person in silence and feel each other's energy. I know there's people that resonate with that. It's not about the big showboating on social media. Rest now. So we're resting now because God is going to task us to do, I got to do all these things. You don't jump the gun and physically, you have to rest it up so you have the energy to do all the creations. Creation is already done, but there will be a time for this, time for that, where we physically have to get up and physically do stuff. So we sit back, we relax. Relax. You're already here because creation is already done. Okay? And so what is happening? And a lot of people see it, know it. So many opportunities for you because your brothers and sisters are going to say, well, what's going on now? Now you say, hey, now I'm ready. Now I can tell all these people that have no clue what's going on. I could take my leadership position in whatever it is that you are doing on your ascension journey. Poppy, I know. Listen, even for me, sometimes I'm a go-getter. I don't want to sit still, but sometimes we have to realize the sitting still, the deep sleeping that we do, so recalibrating the nervous system, sitting quietly so we can know our intuition. So when we move forward in life because this world this year, do you know this is year 1? This whole world's being started over again this year. Did you know this? Click subscribe. You got a place to go to. Because this is actually the start of the year. Wasn't back when the fake New Year was going on. It's actually now. Look at the world. The spring has sprung. The flowers, the birds, and the bees are out, baby. Not when it's cold. Not when we're supposed to go inside. Conserve. So now, boom, it started. So it's like, hold, and then you go. Then you go. But when things are going and then you have no energy because you take a moment. So in the gym and working out as well, if you take a day off or just go and sit in the sauna, rest the body, and then the next day you're actually stronger. So in our life, it's the same thing. It's the physical, the mental, the spiritual. It's the same concept. So we take a day. We're going to rest it up. And then, okay, so if someone is running a marathon, they're going to rest up. They're going to train ahead of time get the concept. They're going to train ahead of time. But the night before, and probably 2 days before, however it goes, they're not going to be running half marathons the day before. No, rest. Now we're going. Now we got to put our best effort in. So we're going to build up our storage, going to build up our glycogen stores, and now we're going to pump away. So it's always the same concepts. It's always the seasons. It's always the tides, the ebbs and flows. It's called the Hermetic principle of rhythm. Rhythm. Ready. Rhythm. That was a house song years ago. Someone might recall. So, here we go. Everything's blowing. Now, the wind is picking up right now as we're getting towards the end. Everything. Look at this here. Hopefully the sound, I got my puffy on the thing, so hopefully we're not getting too much. It's important to be well-rounded. Brandy writes, got to be well-rounded. And that's a great thing to write, Melanie, when you're proud of the decisions that you made, because if you made decisions, you made them out of the ego or out of the brain and not the heart and the soul, and you're sitting in the bed at night, it's always going to come to that window of time prior to sleep. All the time. That is where the magic lies. Because it's the baseline. Rest now for what is coming. Because when all these things start popping off, you're like, I know I could go. I'm so motivated to go. I was inspired. I see this guy is, and they say he only sleeps like 4 hours, constantly building and doing all this stuff. So there's a time for this and a time for that. And there's a time to rest. And then there's a time that you're just, and I've seen this in our life, and in the cookie cutter society where it's like, okay, you got to do this amount. No, it doesn't work that way. There's some days there's a lot of output, and then there's certain days that there is importance of the input, output, consumption, and then creation. Okay, like even with working out and your health and wellness, a lot of it is actually the nutrition, not just the pumping and the pounding. Okay, not just the pumping and the pounding and the weights, the calisthenics, right? It's also the nutrition, input, output, rest, digest. And compare and contrast. And compare and contrast is important because life, the true life, I know there's been a lot of not so great things that have been going on, but it is actually about free will decisions. That's actually why you're alive, to make free will decisions. And through compare and contrast, through your desires, like there's people in the world that don't get it. Like your desires play a role. So right now, focus on what you like. Focus on what you desire in this baseline. You do not want to attract the negative. I got to have all the desires are coming in abundance. And focus on that. And then as things start to now physically move, then you sort it out. Then it's like, oh, it's all coming in, and now you sort through all the treasure troves that are there, and that's what this time period is about. So I love each and every one of you. I'm so grateful for the community. Appreciate you being here, and really focus on the video day 1. It's going to pop up on the screen if you haven't watched it in its entirety. It's going to be a foundational video for anyone that truthfully wants to start this journey. You say, I really want to switch over my mode. You really listen to that talk. Because, people will just go about, this time, say, oh, it's just one day. And then you say, this is day 1. And then you move forward and your whole life changes. So I'm so grateful for the community, grateful for the like, for the subscribe. If you haven't, doing those things help. Connect on Facebook. We got tremendous posts on Facebook. This month on Patreon, there's going to be brand new Zoom meeting and video. The link is in the description for Patreon. Information about next week is going to be there. Paul, I love you, Paul. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful. Paul writes, I have never been as ready as I am right now. Just shut off the noise. Sit in silence and breathe, baby. It's our time. Thank you, Michael, for what you have done for me through these years. Love every one of you in the tribe. I love you, Paul. I'm so grateful for that. The band is back together. Yeah. And that's the story of our life. Sometimes we have to go out into the wilderness, and then we come back and the band is back together. And these are the ebbs and flows of life, the peaks and valleys of life, the seasons that God puts us through in life. And now we have a beautiful season ready to bloom, ready to get the flowers going. Okay? So I love you all. Check out the other videos. Check out the other platforms. I love you all. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going, even if you have to crawl. Today's a crawl day. You stay nicey nice now. Poppy, I love you, Poppy. Thank you for the super chat. I love you. I love everything. I love everyone. Focus on what you love. Focus on what you like. Just really stay there right now. Share this video because some people are going to be tricked into focusing on not the nicest of things. Now I'm going to focus on the great things, and I'm going to be the good shepherd. I love you guys. Bye for now.